Hi, this is Andrew. I also go by Andreas, and I'm making a video right now I guess it's kind of for like therapy, and ask some questions of others that maybe I can field some answers, field some supportive help in some way. I'm really struggling in my life right now. I deal with pretty profound disability, cognitive impairments, and I experience schizophrenia, which can be absolutely awful beyond really what words can describe or what I have the ability to articulately express with words. And I don't really know how to do so with art at this point. And it might be scary for me to actually try to articulate some of what I've experienced because of schizophrenia in an artful way. I actually don't know how much of what my experiences have been are spiritual in nature and how much are merely expressions of my mind that has broken down and gone awry, kind of like having a supercomputer with too many viruses and some sort of AI programming that has creative capacity that creates the most hellish of experiences you can imagine, and even those things that you couldn't imagine. But anyway, so right now I'm living in a situation where I'm in a program. It's called a CRT, a Crisis Residential Treatment Program. It was only supposed to have been for 3 weeks, but it's been about 6 weeks. This is moving towards the end of the 6th week for me. And the reason that is because there is a shortage of housing available right now through the governmental system, the county system, and I'm in the system, and I'm in the system right now because of legal issues that aren't really my fault, and I'm not so sure I actually did anything. And I certainly didn't do anything when I had any control, if I did anything. But I've been accused of something, and there's still a case ongoing, but the evidence seems to show that I was actually the one who was assaulted. And at least that's as far as I've heard. So there's an ongoing case that needs to be settled, and I'm technically not allowed to leave the county at this time. The county is an urban area and a suburban area. It's a suburban sprawl and urban sprawl. It's kind of a mixture of the two. I mean, there's sort of a blending of urban life and suburban life here, but the suburban life is very compact nowadays. There's a lot of population density here, and I really can't stand being in this area. I want to be in nature somewhere, and I want to be free enough to move around, free enough to have campfires or fires in a fire pit or in a fireplace, free enough to work in a garden in a yard kind of thing, and I don't have any place to do that. I don't really want to live in the area in which I live at all. And sorry for the sun right now, but I am being required to go for a walk. So I'm going for a walk, and there's a sun right behind my head, or the sun right behind my head. But anyway, I am trying to figure out what to do and how to do it. I don't really have any friends, none who actually communicate with me. It's been many years actually since I've had anybody consistently in my life in a very supportive way, other than my mom, but she's no longer in my life in any very supportive way. It's kind of abandoned by my friends and family, who for the most part just chose to have their own lives and ignore the harsh reality that they're family member and their friend was actually severely disabled and couldn't take care of themselves, and they didn't want to find out they didn't want to find out more about it, and they would rather just sort of cover up the issue, is what I think actually happened. Too afraid to, it's too difficult for them, and so I basically got abandoned years ago by pretty much everybody in my life. My mom did take care of me for a number of years, but it became too much and her health became an issue. And so, sort of in some ways, more understandably, she backed out of my life, but she did kind of cut ties altogether, and so did the rest of my family. So I've got significant issues because I don't have anybody really in my life. I am unable to work. I can hardly focus for more than a few minutes at a time unless I'm doing something like this where I'm just talking, and I don't necessarily have all the best of things to say when I talk. I mean, I find myself to be quite interesting. I have a lot of unique insights into life and the interworkings of life, at least from a perspective of this could be science. This could be actual fact about the physics of reality and the nature of reality. But a lot of people don't necessarily want to listen to what I have to say, it seems, or I just haven't found a way to get people to listen to me. So, I mean, once again, getting back on topic, I'm looking for some relationships. I'm looking for some support. I'm looking for some ideas. I would love to follow my heart and do something like that, but I feel like I'm too disabled to actually do anything. It'd be great to make art. It'd be great to make some music, but because of the medications that I'm using, and because of schizophrenia, my cognition, my talents have been hugely impaired. And I can't find, with regard to something like music, I can't find rhythm a lot of time because of the medications. And without the medications, it's actually quite dangerous for me because I don't have proper support and I'm not in an environment that's actually very helpful for someone who would prefer to be on minimal medications. And the severity of the condition is actually so severe that it might cause just irreparable brain damage if I went without medications for too long. But I am looking to heal the condition. I do want to heal the condition. I think trying to find a way to heal the condition is the best idea because I can't really live with it. I've been struggling with suicidal feelings and thoughts recently, and to me, that to describe that a little bit more completely, I just haven't really I felt like life's not really worth it. I experience a lot of physiological pain, a lot of pain related to energy and energy systems, or what I would describe to be energy systems of the body. So the energy centers, the chakras, the different levels and layers of the human body that are non-physical or metaphysical. I experience pain and dysfunction of those systems in a pretty significant way. I don't have proper practitioners to support me in healing those systems and clearing them out, which could actually result in total healing if I was able to do that properly. But I need the proper practitioners, or it would be best to use the proper practitioners. I mean, I don't want to be doing this alone. For about a decade now, I've been dealing with schizophrenia pretty much alone when it comes to trying to figure out how to heal. And it has not worked out. And I want to do something different. I want other perspectives. I want those in my life. I want to have others in my life who have their own skills and capacities, because I am experiencing profound disability and I can't actually employ the use of my own talents and faculties, because right now I don't really have them. I want friends too. I want friends and family. I want people who I'm close to. I can't really feel my heart. My heart, when I first dealt with the onset of schizophrenia, spiritually, I experienced my heart being blown up, my spiritual heart. So the energetic parts of the heart and the mental parts of the heart, they were blown up. And for a number of years, until I cleared them out of my heart, there were a lot of demonic intelligences that lived in my heart space, and they were really horrific to deal with. But I eventually cleared them out doing spiritual work, and I had to do that myself. But I'm now not so able to do that spiritual work because possibly the medications I'm taking are too strong to use my mind in ways that would help me to do that work, and there may be too much brain damage, in all honesty, or too much damage to my spiritual systems and my mental systems to be able to affect change in the mental environment and the spiritual environment that I would need to help myself. I also had my soul cut out of my body by some who were attacking me and just acting in really awful ways towards me in a spiritual way. And I actually experienced my soul being cut out of my body and taken from me, and I watched it be effectively mangled and destroyed. I do believe something can happen to help resolve that issue. I believe healing is possible, but it was an intense experience. And I mean, I feel that I don't have most of my soul with me, and I feel the problems associated with that. And one of those problems is a lack of richness in my expressions, in my emotionality, in my mind, in my intellect, and in my memory. I can't tap into creative parts of myself very well, which could also be partially due to the medications, because these medications that I'm on really are toxic and inhibit the use of the mind instead of allowing me to use my mind in a better way. So what else? I don't know. I mean, I'd like to follow my heart in life. I want to go somewhere natural. I want to live in nature. I want to live with others, preferably in nature, not maybe too many others, but some others in nature, and be able to do things like have fires in a fire pit on a regular basis, and work in a garden and grow foods and grow flowers, grow organic foods, and be mixed in with the natural environment and really sort of tuned to the natural environment and be tuned by it, to become more immersed and part of the natural world. And I do think that a lot of healing could occur if I were part of that natural world in a more significant way. And the environment in which I live, the nature is impacted by humanity in such a profound way. It's like there's not a large enough expanse of natural land that I feel comfortable in. I want more space, more natural land without roadways and concrete and power lines and antennae. And I live in the Silicon Valley, and there's just all sorts of technological nonsense going on. That a lot of it is super toxic and super harmful to people and super harmful to life in ways that are not yet really very well known. But so many EMFs and lots of radiation and all that stuff. And anyhow, yeah, I mean, I want to be able to figure out what my heart's saying, but it's kind of hard to when you can't feel your heart and your heart doesn't communicate very clearly with you because it's been so harmed by things that have happened in the past. and I don't feel emotions in my heart. I think that's abnormal. I'm pretty sure I remember I used to feel emotions in my heart, and I don't feel emotions in my heart anymore ever since it got blown up. And so it's been about 10 years since I've felt emotions in my heart, except for some very small examples of healing that did occur, where I was able to feel some emotion in my heart, but very small amounts of it. But those experiences came and then they passed. And it's not stable and it's not standardized. I do think some healing is occurring, but it's taking a long time. And I would prefer to work with some practitioners to help me, some spiritual practitioners to actually help reconstruct these systems and heal these systems with different techniques that they may have. And honestly, I think the proper care and compassion and just interest in my experiences in life with the intention of helping me to heal might go a long way in doing that. Yeah, I mean, I'm really not sure what else to say right now. I'm looking for help. I'm looking to meet people. I don't have a ton to give right now. I've been through so much. I could tell you about my experiences. I'd probably be happy to if you want to hear some stories, if I could remember them, because I do struggle with severe memory deficits. But I could potentially let you know some stories of really crazy experiences that seem wild and out there, and a lot of them are pretty horrific, but some of them are actually quite good and miraculous. And so, I mean, I do have some things to say, but it depends on if there's somebody who wants to listen, and somebody who wants to listen that actually cares and is willing to be supportive and loving and kind and generous enough with their time, even if that generosity is just by natural interest and curiosity. Yeah, I mean, I hope this reaches some people who are like that, kind and generous, and care to spend the time to actually listen. Because I could use somebody. I could really, it'd be great to have somebody or some people in my life who just want to listen to me and who want to talk about their experiences in some way, if they have something helpful to say, or maybe they have talents and skills that could really support me in my journey. And maybe they're not really looking for money. I don't have money. I can't work. It could take years to get disability insurance, and I was rejected for disability insurance, for permanent disability insurance, a number of years ago by the government, because they said I wasn't disabled enough, but they actually used a bunch of really stupid they didn't really test anything, and they ignored the truth of my situation, and they basically made up some stuff. And it can be very difficult to deal with the government, but I mean, so I could be 4 years out, 5 years out from getting disability insurance, and that's a long time. I mean, that's almost 5 years is half the amount of time I've been dealing with schizophrenia. And yeah, I'm looking for some changes sooner than later. I really, really could use them. And yeah, so if anybody is caring enough to message me in the comments, that would be great, and hopefully in a supportive sort of way. That would be great. I do have some content. Some of it could be disturbing to some, depending on your belief systems, but I've had my experiences and others have had theirs, and I'm really looking to create peace and safety and well-being for as many in life as I possibly can, but I might want to take an artistic route of doing so now, because I got to take care of myself, and I don't really know how to do that. But I mean, I've had big ideas and dreams in my past, but I think there's a large part of me that just wants to be an artist and let go of everything else and let go of the business stuff and not really care so much about that, and let go of responsibility for others, because I can hardly even take care of myself right now. But anyway, thanks for listening. I care very much. Hopefully you can get to know me a little bit in some of my videos. I haven't made much about myself, too much, but I think a lot. I have felt very powerfully in my life, and deeply and strongly, intensely, and had many, many crazy experiences. I've suffered a lot, like a lot for many, many years. And I don't really know well-being. I haven't really had well-being in my entire life. So I don't actually really know well-being. And I want to change that. Anyhow, thanks for listening. With love and care and appreciation. Over and out.